the amount of progression in this episode of One Piece is like none we've had in a long time. So not only did we have that amazing opening, finally Wego is gone. North American people do not, and people around the world just in general that watch it, do not have to put up with Wego anymore. We have Wake Up, but then we also get this episode with so much content from the beginning. First of all, the anime showing different people around the new world. We get to see a little glimpse of Crocodile, which is interesting because if I recall, we haven't even seen Crocodile yet in the manga. We get a little bit of a glimpse of the back of his head as well as his arm, the hook on his arm. And if I'm not mistaken, maybe I can't remember or whatever, but I don't think we've seen him in the manga yet. So to get to see him in the anime, it's real, a good treat nonetheless. But we didn't get to see close up of like his face or anything. If anything has changed too dramatic, but for the most part, that was a good treat. But we also get to see Jewelry Bonney, and the fact that she's not, because last time we seen Jewelry Bonney, she was getting captured by Akainu. He was pretty much, gonna get her because Blackbeard left her behind, and he was gonna go capture her, and he apprehended her and whatnot. So the fact that she's free, first of all, it makes you speculate, okay, how did she get free? Did they let her loose? Did she break out? Did she, strike a deal with them? Because we do know of her powers. Maybe they struck a deal like, you make me a bit younger, we'll give you immunity off of this. Maybe Akainu, that's why, because we also get to see Akainu in this particular episode, but we don't get to see him clearly. We just get to see a little side of his face. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe he struck a deal with her, like, yo, make me young and I'll let your little crusty ass go on and about. So that could be something as well. But nonetheless, getting to see that she's free, that's another interesting thing as well. But then it doesn't stop there. It didn't stop there with this episode. We also get to see the Shichibukai of now. Now, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, they actually left a little bit out about one of the Shichibukai that is supposed to be in there or whatnot, but we do get to see that the new Shichibukai is Buggy, and they added a little bit of filler because in the manga you don't get to see him talk or whatever. I guess that was just visualization for the anime, for the viewers or whatnot, so they could get a little bit of a joke of Buggy, because at the end of the day he is a clown, and he's just like, yeah man, I'm gonna go from this to being a Yonko to being the king of the pirates, and it's like, really, bro? They did not beg you, first of all. You need to sit down. It was just a funny treat that they added in there, even though that's filler. It's still like a little bit of visualization jokes and whatnot, because this episode did kind of have a little bit of a jokey feel, especially on the boat. But nonetheless, to get that in there as well, it's like, okay, so we progress to the fact that now we know it's been confirmed, even though for the most part you could have inferred when the bat came to Buggy at the end of, before the time skip, that he was already, that was what it was. But we got official confirmation in this episode as well, but it doesn't even stop there. Then we get the big of it all, which I think was definitely the most important thing, because it's going to be a pioneering thing to this arc, is the fact that we get that Doflamingo has the Merra fruit, the, Ace's devil fruit. And right there, that's going to be, first of all, because he's basically going to try to use that as bait. That's going to be a big thing, because we know that Luffy, that's his brother's shit. He's not going to fucking play around. So that's going to be a big motivator for the upcoming Dressrosa arc. And overall, it's just like, how the fuck did he get his hands on that fruit? Is really going to make you think like, yo, what the fuck is going on here? So a lot of good shit in this episode, a lot of great progression. Animation was alright, nothing to complain about, wasn't spectacular or anything. Definitely when Doflamingo's around, they always try to amp it up for the most part. So it was decent looking, pretty decent looking with the Doflamingo scene. But for the most part, animation subpar, nothing spectacular, so nothing like to write about. But just the amount of progression in here. And also when Akainu orders this guy Fujitora, who is Fujitora? First of all, this episode really brings up like, is that possibly one of the new vice admirals, one of the new admirals? Another good question in there as well. A lot of amazing progression in this episode. I think they adapted a little bit more than a chapter for this episode, because normally they do like about a chapter. This one they definitely did over at least a chapter, because I know they started with chapter 700 with the newspaper stuff, and they went a little bit after that, because I remember chapter 700 ends with Doflamingo saying, I got this fruit and I'm going to use it as bait. But then they went and we actually got the progression as well, that they're on Dressrosa. They have arrived at Dressrosa. So great progression. I can't just stress that enough. This episode really did something that One Piece doesn't do often, and that's move things along in a very nice pace. So I definitely got to give this one 9 out of 10. A lot of great progression, a lot of interesting questions, and a couple of little revelations that just make you think like, what the fuck is going on? How did Bonney get, free from Akainu and the Marines? Also, who is Fujitora? How the fuck and why the fuck are the government buying this shit about having Buggy as a Shichibukai? Like, is this a joke from them? Are they just like throwing it out there just to say, hey, we have this living legend with us? Are they, like, they can't be that dumb to think that Buggy is that strong. So what is up with that? And just overall thoughts of this episode. What do you guys think about this episode regarding, like, just the amount of progression we got in this episode? A lot of good revelations, and just the fact that we progressed to Dressrosa What do you think Doflamingo's like plans are with that fruit? Of course, he's gonna try to bait in Luffy. Obviously, he's not gonna give it to him, but you know, if he can beat him, you think he's gonna give it to him, or you know, what do you think is gonna be his plans overall regarding the Merra? And just again, great episode. I'm so glad we start off new opening. New fucking episode, just amazing pacing and just really great stuff. I'm excited. But that's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Thumbs up for that Merra fruit ace. We back, baby. We going in. Dressrosa, let's go. For that world. And as always, people, have an awesome day.